I hope you guys had a happy Thanksgiving. We left you guys off on Wednesday with a pretty damn good day in the NBA. 3-1 night for us, up over 3.5 units. We did lose the line. We crushed the most. Kings plus 3.5. That's a 5-point move. Wasn't enough to get it done for us, so that was a loser there. And then yesterday in the NFL, a couple of smaller bets didn't get it done for us on Thanksgiving Day. Hopefully you guys had some success with the Thanksgiving NFL card, but we got a lot of action coming today. Obviously, no NBA yesterday. We were out jumping ahead of lines as always, so some more lines crushed for today's NBA slate. Really quick, if you haven't yet, like, comment, subscribe below. John, any takeaways from Thanksgiving? How about Jordan Love last 2 weeks looking real good?
Well, biggest thing I took away is a fat stomach from eating too much food. Damn. Unexplainable. Green Bay shows up with half a team on the IR.
Yep.
They're running back Jones out, tight end Musgrave IR, without linebacker Campbell, without cornerback Alexander, and safety Ford. Go to Detroit. You'd think Detroit would be prepared after falling behind Chicago and needing a miracle the week before, but that wasn't the case. Green Bay comes out, stomps all over them. The other two games, tough to bet against them, and we did small. We went against the Cowboys at the second half. Liked what I saw out of Washington. Just said, you know what, this looks like going to be one of them NFC games. Yeah, Cowboys by far the better team. Probably win by 10 to 2 touchdowns, 10 points to 2 touchdowns. So taking 6.5, down 10 and going into the second half. Thought we were safe. Really thought we were safe. No score in the third quarter. They hold Dallas to a field goal to begin the fourth, and you're just right where you want to be, taking those point spread. But once they went from, excuse the nose, guys, I'm dying with allergies. Anyway, going for that on that fourth down and not making the fourth down, just all downhill from there. On the other side, we wanted to take 7.5. Seattle was in play. Here we talk about our revenge spot. So Seattle, playoff revenge from last year, but even bigger than that, 49ers have the Eagles next week. This was just such a look-ahead game for them. You remember what happened to the 49ers, went there and got humiliated. They almost broke Purvey's arm. I'm sure we always say it. When you get that schedule, they hand you the schedule as a coach, as a player, first thing you're looking at, that's the game, and we call that putting a circle around it. And you can bet your bottom dollar that's what every 49er, down to the player, down to the coach, did on the Eagles for next week. And that's what we talk about a look ahead. It just doesn't matter. This team is – look, now since they brought over the kid
Young,
from the Redskins.
Young, yep.
This defensive line is ridiculous. It looks like Bosa is just walking through people. He dips his shoulder and he's past you. I think it's 5 sacks a game, and now since he's over there, they're the best team in the NFL, clearly. And Dallas, man, making a case. I know they haven't beat the big ones yet, sort of like the Dolphins, but at home, they're just
dominant.
Unstoppable. Anyway, so that's what I saw yesterday. I saw a Detroit Lion team that does not belong in the conversation with the best in the NFC, and San Fran and Dallas that do. And for the guys, the scam decappers out there that had the Lions as the lead in their 3-team Dallas, San Fran Lion parlay and teasers, and you were out of action, and the game's kicked off at 12:30, and by 1:30 you knew you were a fucking loser for the day. So that's why we tell you guys, stay away from teasers, stay away from parlays, especially these fake money line 3 favorite parlays. Our favorite guy, his name will be nameless. Yeah, he gave out Mississippi and Dallas, I believe, as his 2 money line parlay. Great job. Look, who's paying for this information? Just getting Kevin Durant info questionable. KD questionable tonight. We get some big injuries. Let's get to the NBA. One more thing I want to say. Yesterday, like it says, no NBA games to be played. Don't mean I don't work.
Nope.
We went out there. DraftKings opened up their line. As soon as they did, bang, DraftKings. We crushed the numbers every day. As Ben said, we lost our biggest bet Wednesday. We had such an edge on the Kings game, and they fought all the way back, and that game was there, but on a last-second foul just to blow the number. That's a tough one to swallow. Our other 3 games, 3 for 3. Wizards plus 4.5. They tried to give that one up, too. With a huge
so close.
lead, but only lose by 3. Nets, we taking 4.5. They go into overtime, only lose by a deuce. And the Magic, who just keep getting it done for us, we keep telling you, Denver's a different team. Nuggets lose again on the road. So 3 winners, 1 loser. It would have been just a great night. I'm going to call it a good night. Could have been a great night, but the Kings just let us down a little bit in that one. And that's the number that we crushed. Keep crushing that's the game that's supposed to fall 3 or 2 when you have such a big edge. And they will as the year goes by, as the year goes on. And as I say, guys, did it again. We got 3 bets today. We're going to give all 3. We're going to give you our football bet. And I'm going to give you the bet that I sent out for Saturday because, like I said, while everybody thinks I wasn't working yesterday, I was up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and as soon as the lines were available, we were out beating the line in every sport, college football, NFL, and NBA. So let's let them hear about it, Ben.
Yeah, let's get this Black Friday game out of the way. Speaking of Black Friday, also Black Friday 23. Anyone who's not a member, you guys can use that code Black Friday 23 on the website or the app, and you guys will get half off for your first month. Sign up for a membership. The Black Friday game, first one they're doing, Dolphins at the Jets. You had this Miami team coming in. They beat the Raiders. The offense didn't look quite as good coming out of the bye week. Only put up 20 points at home, and it's definitely been worse on the road. Definitely a drop-off for them. They've lost their last 3 road games. They lost at Buffalo, they lost at Philly, and then they lost to the Chiefs in Germany. So 0-3 the last 3 road games. They haven't won on the road by double digits, which is what this line is today. They beat the Chargers by 2, and they beat the Pats by 7. So we'll see if they can cover a massive spread. Meanwhile, the Jets finally bench Wilson. It's going to be Boyle, who all he's done in his career so far is have a 60% completion percentage, 3 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. So not really an upgrade, but a change of scenery. Maybe that's what the Jets needed. Either way, this Jets team's playing dead under, 5 straight unders, under or nothing. And it's the points or nothing. Got to be the Jets or nobody here. Dolphins, just not the same team on the road. Double digits, a lot of points in division game, John.
100%, but the Jets just stink that bad. I mean, they're that bad. We'll wait to see what the story is with the offensive line. Now, they're going to get Dwayne Brown back today. He's been on the IR since way back in week 2. Is Becton going to play? Is Turner going to play? This offensive line is bad enough without missing a bunch more guys. So we'll have to wait to see with that. Dolphins have pretty much owned this series lately. They won 5 of the last 6 games, 4-2 against the spread. The one that they lost, Tua did not play, and the Jets ran all over them. So I'm not going to count that against the Dolphins. They've owned the Jets. They've owned them in this series. Jets just downhill. Look, the offense is non-existent. It's just so hard to actually watch this team on offense. Another disaster at Buffalo last week. Now, Miami doesn't have a defense, but they can score. Can they score against the Jets offense? All I can say is this, guys. You can only take the Jets with the points if the number is 10. If the Jets offensive linemen are in, that's the only way to go. The way we went is on the total. So just going to read off exactly what I've got written in our preview, which says 5 of the last 7 meetings have gone under, an average of 37.1. And 5 of the last 6 meetings at the Jets have gone under 37 points per game. When they play at the Jets, they tend to go a little under. They play at Miami a little more over. The exception was last year when the Jets rolled all over them because Tua wasn't there. Dolphins' last 2 have gone under 34 points per game, and their last 3 road games have gone under 38.7, and the Jets' last 5 have all gone under 31.2. I don't know. Do I got to be a genius to add it up and say go under 41? Go under 41 and let them score more points than that. We'll be looking for the inactive list, which will come out about 1:30, but it would be Jets at +10 or nothing.
And then we have a nice NBA slate going on today. So as John said earlier, we crushed some lines. We'll get into all of those. This top game on the card, Celtics at Orlando. Celtics coming off that game with the Bucks, and they looked really good in the first half. Fell off big time in the second half. Let Milwaukee backdoor the cover there. They are now 6-3, but just 5-2 against the spread on the road. Brown was initially questionable. He's going to be probable, and Drew Holiday is going to get the day off today. So a little bit of a shorthanded Boston team. And how about Orlando? They just keep getting it done. They beat the Nuggets the other night. They played phenomenal. All the young guys getting involved. They have now won the first 2 of this homestand. They're 5-1 straight up against the spread. And NBA best 12-3 against the spread this season. So they keep on covering numbers. They went 4-0 against the spread against the Celtics last year. Split 2 games in Orlando. This is magic or nothing all the way. Shorthanded Boston on the road. Magic keeps covering. Points are nothing here, John.
Jumped right on it as soon as we saw Drew Holiday will be questionable. They sent him out doubtful. When they send out a doubtful, Boston's in Orlando today and back home tomorrow.
Right.
Or back home, is it tomorrow or the following day? Back home the following day. I'm going to say he's probably not even with the team right now. Doubtful to me in this situation means out. What that means, this is the Celtics average the second lowest amount of points from their bench. So missing a starter for them is more important than just about anybody.
Yep.
This Orlando team beat them 3 out of 4 games last year. Beat them on the floor, straight up. Covered all 4. Orlando beats the big dogs. They've already knocked off Denver and Milwaukee, the 2 other best teams in the NBA right now. They're going to make it a trifecta. You got Celtics coming off the big game against the Bucks, shorthanded, and we jumped on the Magic at plus 5.5 as soon as we got the Drew Holiday info that he'd be out.
Then we have the Suns at the Grizzlies. This Memphis team going through their woes. They got crushed by Houston the other night. Meanwhile, Phoenix, since Booker's return, they've been phenomenal. Took care of business against Golden State. They've won 5 straight, 3-2 against the spread. They're 5-2 on the road this year. Meanwhile, Memphis still winless at home, 0-6. This game would be Phoenix or nobody. As far as the matchup history, they split 4 meetings last year, including 2 games in Memphis. But this Grizzlies team really tough to back right now. I thought maybe they'd have a chance there in that Houston game, another team that's playing low-scoring basketball, and they just couldn't even whiff it. So Grizzlies not scoring, haven't won a game yet at home. Suns are nobody, John.
Okay, so they just posted KD questionable, and you've got Bane questionable for Memphis. Huge flips, guys. One playing the other night. You're talking about a 5-6 point swing. So we can't keep you up to date. You can be up to date if you had to beat the bookie member.
Yep.
Other than that, if the game was a square game and both teams are playing, here's your situation. So Phoenix, remember, today's Friday. This is part of the in-season tournament games. So right now you've got a Phoenix squad 2-1 in the in-season tournament. Lakers have clinched this division, this group they call it. The only way Phoenix could make it now is by a wild card. The next tiebreaker is point differential. So in this case, you might have a Phoenix team look to run it up on the Grizzlies. Again, all comes down to Durant, Bane, who's in, who's out. We'll be on top of that one. If everybody's in, if everybody was to play, the number that they have it at now, 6.5, 7, to me is a little bit too high, but it's high because, as I said, they may be looking to run it up a little bit.
Then we have the Heat at the Knicks. Heat playing great ball right now. They got a big win at Cleveland. They're now 9-1, 6-4 against the spread. Their last 10. The Knicks, they returned from a 3-2 trip after losing at Minnesota on Monday. It's a lot of days off here for the holiday week to get ready for some playoff revenge. You have Miami, who obviously knocked them out in the second round last year. Knicks had a lot of success in the regular season matchup. They won 3 to 4 meetings. And as good as the Heat are, this game simply comes down to playoff revenge. John absolutely crushed this number yesterday.
Yeah, this is some games, they're what we call schedule spots. And this schedule spot, Miami now, 4th consecutive road game in 7 days. Knicks off for 3 days since that mess up in Mini. Playoff revenge. Bam missed the last game. Duncan Robinson questionable. Now Heat's another one of those teams like the Lakers. LeBron's questionable every day. didn't see anything wrong with Duncan Robinson, but we'll see today. But Bam, Robinson, both listed questionable. Playoff revenge, 3 days off. Miami, fourth city, and 7 days. No, I'm sorry, not fourth city because it was 2 games at Chicago, but fourth road game. Just a scheduling spot with the revenge. Gotta like the Knicks. The line was ridiculous yesterday. We laid 2.5 when DraftKings came out with this line. This game right now sitting at 5.5 or 6, depending on your book. And as I say, DraftKings, just pay me, and I'll give you the line.
Yeah, big move on that game, and we'll see if Knicks end up taking care of business for us. Bulls at Toronto. Bulls lose at OKC the other night. They're now 1-5, 2-4 against the spread their last 6. 1-5, 2-4 against the spread their last 6 on the road as well. Levine did not play. Waiting to see on him. Then you have this Toronto team coming off a tight win against Indiana the other night. High scoring, of course, because the Pacers 132-131 in that one. Matchup history, very low scoring. Bulls, one of the bottom teams in scoring, so they've been playing very dead under. 5 of their last 6 went under. If Levine's not in, this would be a lean to the under for me. No interest here, though, on a side. Slightest of leans to Toronto, but numbers a bit too steep for me, John.
Yeah, well, again, depends on Levine if he's playing. And again, Levine in the coaches' pregame conference said that he would be playing against Oklahoma City. Again, we've been talking about it now for a while. Chicago talking about trading Levine, DeRozan. And in the meantime, the most asked for guy has actually been Caruso. So this is what's happening This is what's happening in Chicago. They go to Toronto now. These teams met earlier this year in Chicago. Chicago ekes out a win in overtime. So now it's time for Toronto to hold service. So Toronto is a better home team. All depends if Levine's in, but my lean would be to Toronto if Levine is out.
This next matchup, we have Nuggets going on to Houston. Denver 1-3 on the trip right now, coming off that loss at Orlando. Jokic, another triple-double, but wasn't enough. Then you have, as far as this Rockets team, they just keep getting it done. They took care of business the other night. They're 7-3, 9-0-1 against the spread. Their last 10, and their defense leading the NBA, allowing 105 points per game. Rockets, they took care of business about a week ago, beating the Nuggets at home a little over a week ago, and they won the last year. Prior to that, Nuggets had dominated this matchup, winning 10 straight. So a little bit of a revenge factor here for the Nuggets coming into this game, but it's still Houston or nobody. Denver's not the same on the road. Rockets absolutely rolling right now, winning and covering left and right. Would be Rockets or nobody. Lean a bit heavier to the under. 3 of the last 4 meetings went under. 6 of the last 7 of Houston's went under. And 2 of Nuggets' last 3 did go over, but against this matchup, imagine them playing a bit more of a low-scoring game. That's just how Rockets are playing right now.
Man, are they playing Udoka again? We keep saying it, tip of hat. They lead the NBA in points allowed. So, yeah, you can only look at the under in this one. Perfect. Well, not perfect. They got one push, but 9-0-1 against the spread their last 10 games. Denver, as we said, this is a different Denver team on the road. 19-22 against the spread last year on the road. And this year, is it 1-6? Just not getting it done on the road. We'll wait to see where this line goes. Thought there might be some Denver money because of a little revenge spot. Denver lost at Houston earlier this season. Even with the revenge spot, even with that, as Ben said, they had won the prior 10 before losing the last time they met last year. This is a different Houston team. This Houston team is I like this Houston team. It's Houston and nobody. We haven't bet it yet. We're waiting to see where that line goes. It's sitting at 3 now.
And we had the Pistons at the Pacers. Pistons coming off that loss to Denver on Monday. That's the only thing they have going for them here in this is that they've been off since Monday, but they've lost 12 straight, 4-8 against the spread. Couldn't beat a Denver team, missing everybody. So tough to back Detroit anyway, anyhow. Pacers, tight loss there against Toronto. Halliburton, he had another big game despite that. Same thing, guys. Pacers over. It's 11 straight at this point. 4 of the last 5 meetings went over. Pistons, they've been playing some low-scoring games here and there, but if you look at their last couple of games, they went under against Denver, but over against Toronto, over against Atlanta. Halliburton is questionable, so you obviously want him in if you're betting the over, but hey, if he's in, Indiana over.
Yeah, hold off till we know about Halliburton's side and total. He's the he's the engine to that team.
100%.
Also, you have Naismith and Nembhard. They've missed the last couple of games for the Pacers. So you could have a Pacer team that's a little short-handed tonight. Pistons expected to get the center Duren back. He missed the last 5 games, I believe it is. Yes, the last 5 games. So he may be a little limited in his coming back. Got to see what the look. This Pistons Pacers a totally different team with Halliburton in or Halliburton out. So again, we'll be on top of the lineups there with him in. This is a 9-point favorite. Can't imagine the Pistons are going to be able to score enough like the high-flying Pacers. But again, we need to see the lineups.
Then we had the Wizards at the Bucks. Wizards blew a 19-point lead at Charlotte. They hang on to cover for us on Wednesday, though. Then you have this Bucks team who fought back in the second half, and they shot horrendous in the first half. So covered against Boston. They're now 5-1 straight up and against the spread their last 6. Matchup history, I mean, they just met a game ago. They had a little sandwich break in between. Bucks killed them then. They've now 14-2 the last 16 meetings. Really, really big number on this game. So no interest on backing the Bucks, but it would be Bucks or nobody. They don't have any major games coming up next on this homestand is Portland. But after that, they do have another revenge game going on to Miami. So lean here to the Bucks. Don't want to be laying this big number. It could be worth a look here at Washington and lean to the over as well. When Giannis go last time they met, 20 for 23 in the paint, just dunk after dunk. So maybe worth a look at some props for him today too.
Yeah, expect Milwaukee to come with a game after getting off to a lousy start at Boston, then make it interesting a little late. Really never really a shot to win that game, just to get under the number. But yeah, here you get them at home against the Wizards, a team that they've basically owned. Big number here, though, 13. And as always, you have that big lead. You're going to want to get guys like Giannis and them on the bench, get them some rest. One little side note, who does Milwaukee have next? Portland comes to town. Obviously, Lillard's old team. So maybe Lillard and I on the next game. It's not as much as him going back to Portland, but with them coming in, I'm sure that's a game he'll be more focused on than the Washington game. It's right around the number I think it should be. So I got no real big dog in this fight. Just another note to jump back up to the other game because I neglected to say Pacers who are playing Pistons, they've already clinched their in-season group.
Right.
So if Halliburton's not right, maybe they're sitting him for this game because they've clinched that group, but that remains to be seen. So we'll again injuries, guys. They're the key. Once the line is set, we see what the injuries are all about, and again that'll be a big one.
We have Kings going on to Minnesota. Kings coming off a pair of losses at New Orleans, scoring just 102 a game after the 6-game win streak where their offense was looking phenomenal. Murray, he's going to miss again tonight. T-Wolves, another home win. They get it done against Philly. Obviously, no Embiid in that game. Now 7-0 at home, 10-1, 7-4 against the spread their last 11. Those are trends I don't want to go against. And Minnesota, pretty good in this matchup as well. 5-2 straight up against the spread the last 7 meetings. This is T-Wolves or nothing for me in this game. Can't go against a team 7-0 at home, winning by an average of 17 points right now.
Man, Sack was rolling right up until the time they got to New Orleans, and New Orleans put a halt to that. And that's one of the reasons we're on New Orleans, and we'll tell you more about that in a minute. But Fox had them rolling. They were scoring $129 a game since his return. That kind of cut down there. Now they go to Minnesota. Minnesota's just been lights out at home. Sack had the best road record against the spread last year. They played great so far. They're not living up to that, though, this year. A tough spot to them to go in as they continue their road trip. Minnie's played at home their last few games, beating the Knicks, beating Philadelphia. So they'll be nice and rested. Cannot go against Minnesota in this spot. So, look, the line is right where I make it, but I've got nobody in this game, but just no way would I want to go against Minnie. Also, this game will be for the winner of that group. Both teams are 2-0 in this group. They're in the same group, obviously. So the winner of that group will be 3-0 and basically clinch the group.
And we have Spurs going on to Golden State. They lost again, make it 10 straight, but at least they covered this time against the Clippers the other night. Wemby had a decent game. They're now 2-8 against the spread on this 10-game losing streak. And then the Warriors, they lose at Phoenix. They're 1-7, 2-6 against the spread their last 8, and they're 2-6, 1-7 against the spread, and they're 8 at home. So two teams not really winning, not really covering. Pick your poison here. Warriors absolutely dominated this matchup last year, but without Draymond Green, it just looks already like they lost a step, and then you take him out of the picture, they haven't looked good. Last game with his suspension, and this one also just a weird scheduling spot a little bit here for the Warriors, and just a bit of a sandwich. You are at Phoenix, you have this game, then you get at the Kings, then you get the Clippers and the Suns again. So again, just a weird, bottom tier team and a mixture of the best of the West. So it would be a lean here to the Spurs for me. Tough to go against those trends that they killed them last year.
Yeah, look, they popped this number up 11 yesterday, and I don't make Golden State 11 over anybody in the NBA. Is a different team, but this is what we call your chicken soup game, and Golden State has owned this team. I mean, we're going to talk about burying a team. So they beat them by an average of 26 points per game at home in the 2 games last year, and then beat them by 31 in San Antonio. 3 games, 3 demolished jobs. So here's a get-right game. San Antonio, absolutely terrible. 10 straight losses, 2-8 against the spread. Couple of back doors. They snuck in on the Clippers, and they snuck in on the T-Wolves. We had plus 7.5, and they lose by 7. So you got a couple of back doors, 2-8 against the spread. You're going to go to a team that has absolutely destroyed you and needs a win. I mean, they need a win. Yep. Golden State, 1 win in their last 8 games. So, yes, at plus 11, the bet was San Antonio nobody. But these are the games that, we say that a lot. It's this one or nobody, but sometimes it's nobody. And I just don't want San Antonio in this spot, even though the numbers might suggest it's worth the take.
Yeah, definitely better spots on the board than 2 teams combined. What is it now? 3-11 against the spread. The last, whatever that would be, 14. Yeah. So you have Pelicans, Clippers next in the matchup. Pelicans looking good right now. 4-1, 5-0 against the spread. Their last 5 games coming off a pair of wins against Sacramento. Zion been very efficient lately. 25 points, 10-16 in that last game. Love when the bigs are efficient. Giannis, Jokic, Zion. It just makes everyone else's job so much better. Then you have this Clippers team. They've now won 3 straight, still just 1-2 against the spread, and 2-7 against the spread their last night. So not really covering numbers. Pelicans own this matchup, 9-1 straight up against the spread the last 10. Got to be a look here at New Orleans. And John, you crushed that number. Even at the current number, though, would still lean New Orleans.
Yeah. Plus 7. We took DraftKings open this game plus 7. Again, DraftKings, just pay me. I'm telling you, just pay me. This is a ridiculous number. First of all, as Ben said, New Orleans has absolutely owned this matchup. 9 out of 10, 9-1 against the spread. But let's say they did it. Just look at how the teams are playing right now. Look, Ben had touted this Pelican team early in the year. The only problem they had was no depth. So once they lost McCollum, and if Zion sits, there's just no depth. Now they've since got Alvarado back, and they've got Marshall back. Look, these aren't huge guys, but they're guys in the rotation 100%. Players, and now you're not going all the way down to the bench. Just watching some movement on this Toronto game right now, going down to 5. Might tell me Levine getting ready to be named probable. Getting back to the Sac New Orleans game, the Pelicans Clipper game. So you got a Pelican team now, get a couple of guys back, really straightened it out. Beats Dallas, Denver, sacked twice, loses to the T-Wolves by 1 without Zion in the lineup. And hey, they figured stuff out, and they're going to a team where Clippers, they won 3 games by the skin of their teeth. 2 against San Antonio, didn't cover 2 of the 3. Harden 7 for 19 in the last couple of games. They still haven't figured it out. Give me the 7 points. That was a ridiculous. Again, guys, Clippers might win by 17 tonight, but the line cannot be 7. As Ben said, at 5, still scary enough. There's still probably a little bit more room. I made this game like 4. So, 7 was stealing money with this game. This was our biggest bet of the day, 4 units, Pelicans plus the 7.
And we'll see if New Orleans gets it done for us tonight. They've been playing phenomenal. That is the Black Friday NBA and NFL slate. Now we have that one NFL game. We do have some college football coming up this weekend, John. We do have that one college football bet. I know you touched on that. We can go ahead and give that as well for the college football free bet Friday. Alabama, Auburn. Obviously, it's the Iron Bowl, big game every year. You have this Alabama team, got that look ahead to the SEC championship with Georgia. It is one thing, though, with this Alabama team. You can't lose this game if you want to have a chance at the college football playoffs. Obviously, you have to have that one loss. So it can't be a complete letdown, but 14.5 points, a lot of points in a rivalry game. Last two times they met in Auburn, Auburn covered both, lost to one by 2 points. They won the other one by a field goal. So 2 field goal games in Auburn. I'm just 14.5 points with the Alabama look ahead. Sure, Bama probably wins this game, but wouldn't be surprised by single digits.
Yeah. Auburn got beat, and I mean beat, by New Mexico State at home last week. And this is what we call a look-ahead game. Auburn was not focused on New Mexico State. That loss was so terrible. You got to remember, a lot of these point spread, they're all done by computer programs, algorithms, that line, the line would have been no more than 11 and 11.5 if Auburn did not lose that game. New Mexico State is not a better team than Auburn. They just caught them sleeping. They won't be sleeping this week. This is their Super Bowl, the Iron Bowl. Yep. Yes, Alabama's an important game to them too, but their real game is next time out against Georgia, SEC championship. Got to take over a touchdown. We took 14.5 yesterday morning when I got up. Right now, that game is sitting at 13. So it's all about getting that edge. That 1.5 in this particular game is huge. I expect Bama to win this game, and I expect it to be 10 to 14 points. I think that hook is going to be real important. Wouldn't take less than 14. And it's under the 14 now. And again, guys, that's why you want to become a member. You got to get the best of the number. Beating the number, guys, is the key. Again, anybody, I've listened to guys, and I can't tell you I cringe. They're out there calling themselves handicappers. And I was watching guys yesterday. Now, they had the right side with Green Bay, but they're telling guys, buy it up to 8.5 from 7.5. First of all, they probably shot the video whenever, because the line was already at 8.5 yesterday. Yeah. Packers came in. Forget about who won or lost the game. Telling their members to buy a point to spend an extra 20 cents to go from 7.5 to 8.5. That you can bet me. I'll open back up for suckers like you. These guys have no right getting paid a penny for their picks because they have no knowledge of the game. There is no edge. There is zero edge. No, I can't say there's no edge. Of course there's no edge. You're a loser if you buy 7.5 to 8.5 and pay an extra 20 cents. This is what we do. Well, one of my guys in the chat, and I love the guys in the chat. I love all my members. I really do. We love you guys tuning in here. But one of the guys last night, I sent out a bet just before kickoff. I sent out in our previews that if Seattle was to go to 7.5 with Davis, with Geno Smith playing, I would have bet on the Seahawks plus 7.5. I would have a 3-unit bet. Guys, I bet lines. Okay, I bet the line. Now I know the game's not going to go to 7.5. Just as I said in the earlier game, if Cowboys went to 14.5, we would bet Dallas. It never got there. We never made the bet. The Sharps came in and took 13.5. The Sharps were taking 7 and dog money at the end of the run up to the Seahawks kickoff. Had a guy in my chat say, "Should we buy it to 7.5 and bet more?" I won't even answer that. If you've been a member of mine, have I ever told you to buy it? That's for the scamby cappers to tell you to buy numbers so they have a better chance to win. Each half a point you're getting, you have a better chance to win. We do it the right way by beating the number, while the scammy cappers out there want you to buy the number. You don't buy numbers. You don't give the books more of an edge. You don't bet teasers. You don't bet parlays, as you guys that bet the Lions to ruin your Thanksgiving Day yesterday know full well. Beat the number, you beat the game. Not buy the number, you beat the game. Beat the number. That's what we do every single day. So get up yesterday. Knicks minus 2.5. That game's sitting at 5.5, 6. Pelicans plus 7. That game's sitting around at 5. We took Auburn plus 14.5. That game's sitting at 13. Guys, this is what we do day in, day out. If you're a handicapper, you're a handicapper. If you're a scamdicapper, it's just throwing darts at games an hour before game time. So following line movement or using phrases like reverse line movement, they don't have a clue. They don't know what they're doing. A guy that's beating the number, when it immediately comes out, we're betting it immediately. Not waiting for line movement. We're moving the line. There's nobody better. And in NBA, I mean, there's no – when you talk about Instagram, YouTube, I'm talking about there's nobody better that can continuously beat the line every single day the way we do.
Make sure you guys check it out, the app and the website. If you guys want to be a part of beating the line, obviously we are not here on the weekend. We will be back on Monday if you guys want to join us for that. Pretty good Monday Night Football division game coming up there. John, pretty good week. Let's see if we can close out with a monster weekend here coming up. A little bit of a slow start to Week 12, but we are still going for 12 straight winning weeks in the NFL this week.
Yes, I expect it. Look, I love our games this week. And I'm not going to give them to you. I got to leave something out there. So for you guys that want to become a member, still another, what do we got, 12 hours for Black Friday? You get 50% off. I've got 3 NFL bet Sundays. We already gave you our bet today, which was the under that I can give you for free. Can't give you too much for free because nobody will want to become a member. But, yeah, there's a couple of games that I really like on Sunday. Great spots. And hopefully this would be week 12. 12 straight winning weeks, and we're going after it.
Make sure you guys sign up to be a part of it. Check out the app. Check out the website. Appreciate you tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe below. Let's make some money.
Let's make some money.